is happening, Magnacites? Spoiler alert, you have been warned. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Biggest WTF questions. This should be very interesting.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has arrived, and yes, it has lots of Doctor Strange in it. Like, several Doctor Stranges, actually.
Things just got out of hand.
And it has lots of multiverse, too. As for the madness part, well, do WTF questions count in that regard? Because it has plenty of those, too.
Good question.
Look, any Marvel movie dealing with the cosmic craziness that Multiverse of Madness does is gonna leave us scratching our heads over a few things. That's part of the fun, getting to dissect all the little details afterwards and make videos about them too. But the Doctor Strange sequel's questions do occasionally lead into head-exploding terrain. Literally, in fact. Let's dig in.
Okay. Doctor Strange.
As the film comes to an end, Benedict Cumberbatch's Stephen Strange seems to be moving on with his life, fixing his long-broken watch that his ex, Christine Palmer, had given him before heading for a cheery walk outside his sanctum sanctorum. But then suddenly he collapses in pain as a third eye appears in his forehead, just like the third eye sported by his multiverse counterpart, Sinister Strange, as he's called in the marketing for the film. It's kind of an odd way to end the film, if only because after this shocking reveal, Doctor Strange seems fine when we see him a couple of minutes later in the mid-credits scene, where he's still walking around the streets of Manhattan.
Yeah.
More on that in a second. But back to the eye. Our Strange used the magical book known as the Darkhold when attempting to defeat Wanda Maximoff in the film's final battle.
Right.
And while he avoided being overcome by its dark power, as Wanda and Sinister Strange did, he apparently did use it enough to become perhaps a teensy bit affected by it, enough to trigger the appearance of his new body part. The third eye? Maybe, but that wouldn't explain why Wanda didn't also have a third eye. All that said, in the comics, the Eye of Agamotto can manifest in this very way. It's one of Strange's magical tools, an ancient talisman that will reveal truth to its user and can see through deception. It's an actual eye from a guy named Agamotto, who was once a Sorcerer Supreme himself. In the MCU, the Eye of Agamotto is a bit different and used to contain the Time Stone, but maybe we'll be seeing the full power of that particular piece of Strange mythology moving forward.
Yeah, I know.
This one is easy. In the mid-credits scene, Strange, apparently recovered from that eye popping up out of nowhere, encounters a mysterious new player in the MCU, Charlize Theron's Clea. Clea is a core character from the Doctor Strange comics, a Sorcerer Supreme herself who hails from another dimension and a love interest to Strange. Indeed, the two eventually marry in the comics, so her appearance here likely indicates that Christine Palmer's time in these movies is truly over after the apparent closure the characters achieved here. Well, kind of. Learn more about Clea and what her arrival here could mean for the MCU in our full explainer, linked in the description.
Alright.
You know, life as a supporting player in the Marvel movies isn't always easy. For every Pepper Potts who's taken along for the ride for years and years, there's a Liv Tyler's Betty who's barely mentioned again. It seems that in the case of Doctor Strange's cast, the time between movies, it's been 6 years since the first film, was just too much, and there was multiversal stuff to focus on. So, Chiwetel Ejiofor's Carl Mordo, who was teased at the end of the first film as a new baddie after being an ally to Strange for most of that movie, just isn't in this film. His Earth 838 counterpart does get what isn't much more than a cameo, however, as part of the Illuminati. McAdams gets some good stuff to do as the Earth 838 version of Christine Palmer, but the OG Palmer is left at her wedding in the film's opening minutes, never to be seen again. And presumably, the wedding was also ruined by the superhero battle raging outside. Benedict Wong's Wong has obviously fared better over the years, but let's not even get started on Michael Stuhlbarg's Nicodemus West, who played Strange's rival surgeon in the first film. And hey, at least he got a wedding invite and some awful hair.
I really liked Wong in this. I was hoping he was going to be in here. White Vision wasn't in here.
That WandaVision introduced White Vision, a rebuilt version of the OG Viz, though one lacking the emotions of his predecessor. Last we saw him, he was heading out to find himself, basically like in a spiritual way, man. But one has to wonder why he didn't.
I bet you was in the original cut.
Situation that was unfolding here. Maybe he just didn't care. See also no emotions.
Well, yeah,
or
no emotions.
Perhaps he didn't know about it. But speaking of Wanda, I don't know about you, but I'd be kind of bummed if my wife went universe hunting to find her long-lost children, but didn't even think to say, hey, maybe out of the infinite timelines I have access to, I should find one that also has my dead husband.
Yeah.
Of the not dead variety. A dead, not dead husband.
That's a big WTF. Good job, IGN. I hope he is.
We don't know. Some fans have been vocal about wanting The Office and A Quiet Place star John Krasinski to play the leader of the Fantastic Four.
I hope he is.
Movie, which is in development. And they also, of course, want his wife in real life, Emily Blunt, to play Reed's wife in the comics, Sue Storm / Invisible Woman. Side note, Krasinski came very close to being cast as Captain America before Chris Evans landed the role, and Blunt was cast as Black Widow before dropping out, which allowed for Scarlett Johansson to inhabit the part.
Yeah.
And so, Krasinski does show up in the Multiverse of Madness as the Earth 838 version of Reed, who is soon after sliced into a fantastic salad with Wanda. But, of course, it's the multiverse, baby, so Krasinski could come back as a different version of the character.
I hope he does.
But, as Loki the TV series showed us, sometimes variants just don't look the same. Basically, we're waiting to see on this question. But, learn more about the past.
That's a stupid way to go out the way he did, if he's only going to cameo like that, you know what I mean?
Parkers look totally different.
Took him out in 5 seconds.
Nope. We all assumed it was because Captain Carter was hinted at in the trailer, as was Strange Supreme. But it turned out these were just variants from similar but different timelines. Oh well. We still can't wait for season 2 of the animated show anyway.
Hi.
Yeah,
My name is
can't
Peter
wait.
Parker. You don't know me, but Hi, my name is Peter Parker, and you don't know me, but you...
Doctor Strange references the last Spidey movie when he mentions having some multiversal experience. But beyond that, does anyone else remember the multiversal mishap in that movie? Strange's spell erased everyone's memory of Peter Parker, we know that. But what about Spider-Man himself and that whole big fight at the Statue of Liberty with, you know, other Spider-Men?
That's the part
Also,
right there, baby.
Woo! Did all his wizard and training stuff go out the window because of Strange's spell in No Way Home? Does he remember Ned had a knack for magic? And does America Chavez's unfamiliarity with Spider-Man mean that not only does no one remember who Peter Parker is, but no one aside from Strange remembers who Spider-Man is? She's been to a bunch of universes, but has seemingly never encountered a Spider-Man. I don't buy it. Those are all the WTF questions we have around Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but what did we miss? Let us know in the comments. And be sure to also check out our ending explained on the film. And of course, like and subscribe to us, IGN, wherever you like to watch.
What do you know about the multiverse?
That Vision one is really messing with me.
It was dangerous.
She loved him so much. Why wouldn't she look for another Vision?
He was right.
I want to see a director's cut. I want a director's cut. You hear me, Disney? Hear me, Marvel? I want a director's cut. I want to see what Raimi really had planned for us. Because now, I don't know why I didn't think about that. Because I did discuss beforehand, while watching one of the trailers with you guys, I was like, yeah, I wonder if White Vision's going to be in it. Because he's the one that could speak some sense into her. He's the one that could take, get her to climb down off that damn ladder, you know what I mean, of evilness. He could get her to think properly. Just seeing White Vision would make her stop. You know what I mean? But I guess, look. Here's the thing. This is all make-believe. Okay? This is all fantasy. This is all fiction. And the fact of the matter is, stories are written a certain way to move in a particular direction. You know what I mean? Like Batman v Superman. We all know that Superman could kill him in less of a tenth of a second. He's that fast. He could just do it if he felt like it. But it's written in a certain way so that we have a battle, so that we have something going back and forth. So, certain things are written around certain characters' popularities or the direction they want to take a character and all that stuff. So, with fiction, it's well, we wanted to be a villain. So, that's why he wasn't in there, because everyone knows that if Vision spoke to her, he's the one person that could get her to stop. So if he was in it, it wouldn't work, or we need to bring him in at the end, which I'm surprised they didn't bring him in at the end. When you think about it, you'd expect him to fly in Especially if she's in a different universe, you suspect that. I don't know. But anyway, post comments down below. Let me know what you all thought. If you enjoyed my reaction to this news, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share.